Okay, good morning or good afternoon, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. And thanks very much for joining us for this webinar today, where we're going to look at, briefly discuss human rights due diligence in Pakistan, and we're going to hear from Mr. Sameeh Ullah, who's a policy advisor for APTMA, and Mr. Mohammed Imran, who's a director of projects and training for corporate social responsibility in Pakistan. A little bit more about that later. I'd just like to start off by telling you then a little bit about the Local Resources Network for those of you that are new to the network. So the network came about in 2007 when ETR members discovered that they needed an easy way to find local partners to help them implement supply chain improvements. The idea was simple. How can we engage with relevant experts on the ground? So we needed a database, and that's basically where the idea was born. So the Local Resources Network has developed from an Excel sheet, if you like, to an online database, and we refer to it as a global database of local advisors, and that's what we do. So basically, we have the way that we work is that we join people together, and that's our main mission, if you like, is to find local experts who can support buying companies in their human rights due diligence processes, whether that's assessing risk, auditing, or capacity building, helping to make improvements. So we're a global network, and we also, in addition to being an online network, we also run events in selected production countries around the world. And this webinar then is a follow-up from the event that we ran in Pakistan not so long ago. The whole point of connecting people is collaboration. So our objective, if you like, is to build business partnerships to find the right people on the ground to support due diligence processes, and also then we also highlight then local initiatives that that our members can join. And we'll also, and one of the presentations today from APTMA, for example, will highlight the possibilities there. And then finally, we also, to build up under the process of collaboration, we provide some country risk intelligence, country briefings, and also try to run experience exchange sessions. So this webinar is as an example of that. We also run other webinars, and on our website you can see a list of the webinars that will be running for the rest of this year. So the insight is perhaps a good point to start. I think I'd like to start off by sort of setting the context a little bit in a second. So before I do that, just the members that we have then in Pakistan, we have basically 30 approved advisors in Pakistan, and there are also 11 that are currently pending approval. So within a very short space of time, we'll have over 40 active advisors in Pakistan. And you can see that the membership basically is comprised of what we would refer to then as key stakeholders in a due diligence process. So we have representatives of trade unions, we have representatives from civil society or NGOs. We have a large number of consulting service providers, training providers, these kind of things who can actually implement programs, who can provide training, who can help design and implement productivity improvement processes that can complement the due diligence process. And we also have representatives from academia, research institutes, and multi-stakeholder initiatives such as the All Pakistan Textile Mills Association, who we'll hear from later. The due diligence hotspots, I mentioned the insights that we run and the country briefings. So the country briefings are basically based on publicly available information. They're a sort of combination, if you like, of a review and a synthesis of the information that's available, and in putting together Pakistan country briefing, we looked then at over 40 different sources of information and tried to put together then a sort of an easily accessible synthesis of this data to help all our members sort of understand some of the main issues, or the context, if you like, from working in Pakistan. Amongst others, these are, if you like, what we call the due diligence hotspots then for Pakistan in particular. As I said, this is based on publicly available information. We haven't done any research ourselves. We haven't done any interviews, anything. We've just looked at the available data and provided the synthesis of that. So the first hotspot then we identified was freedom of association, collective bargaining. You can see that Pakistan is ranked number 5, down from number 4 on the ITUC country index in 2015. This indicates really that the rights of association and collective bargaining are not guaranteed, and as I mentioned, by moving down from 4 to 5 indicates that there's the situation is perhaps worsening. Workers and labourers face major obstacles in forming and joining trade unions, as well as in exercising their right to collective bargaining. As far as we managed to establish then the Industrial Relations Act, so provincial laws regulating the formation of trade unions effectively excludes a large proportion of the workforce. So, for example, workers in export processing zones, and perhaps more strikingly, the informal sector, which accounts for well over 70% of the workforce. In addition, there's this interesting situation where no more than 2 unions are allowed per site without going to a court to actually seek permission. The All Pakistan Trade Union Federation consists of about 240 affiliated trade unions, including workers in the unorganised sector, such as the brick kilns, oil tankers, carpet workers, and in the textile sector, then we have APTMA, which represents workers of the spinning, weaving, and mills sectors. We're going to hear a bit more from APTMA very shortly. One of the next due diligence hotspots that we identified was then child labour. So it's estimated that about 25 million children, that's almost 50% of all children in Pakistan, are out of school. That doesn't necessarily mean they're all working, but they're out of school and perhaps at risk. This is the second highest number of out of school children in the world, and Pakistan ranked 6th on the global slavery index in 2014. And child labour then was identified as being a prevalent issue with an estimated 12 million child labourers. Agriculture, perhaps unsurprisingly, is the worst industry, but child labour is ubiquitous in Pakistan, and not just isolated to 1 or 2 industries. There are several large-scale projects, including the Integrated Project for Elimination of Child Labour and Bonded Labour in Punjab. This is supported by the ILO, IKEA and Save the Children, and is aimed at tackling issues of child labour in the cotton belt of Pakistan. Roughly 70% of the non-agricultural child work that takes place in Pakistan takes place in small workshops. That's kind of with employees with less than workshops with less than 10 employees. And there are some sort of legal hindrances as to inspections around these small workshops, which basically means that they go under the radar. The third issue is discrimination, and as you can see, the second worst in the global gender gap. Gender discrimination is is widespread, but discrimination is not limited to gender discrimination. There's also some serious issues with ethnic minorities, HIV status, and so on. Women are less likely to hold waged jobs in Pakistan and earn almost 40% less than their male counterparts. Refugees are not allowed to work legally, but many work as day labourers or informal labourers, which makes them quite vulnerable then to exploitation. Refugee women and children were identified in the research that we made as being particularly vulnerable, accepting often underpaid and undesirable positions. From the legislation perspective, the Protection Against Harassment of Women at Workplace Act requires companies to establish an inquiry committee. This shall consist of 3 members, of whom at least one should be a woman. This is seems to be a good piece of legislation. It'd be interesting to hear from participants later on how their impression of how well this is being implemented, because implementation of legislation seems to be a challenge in certain parts in Pakistan. And then finally, health and safety. So with health and safety, we see that many workers are unaware of their rights. This is a sort of a big issue, and sort of this big need for capacity building, particularly in the informal sectors. There are a number of provincial initiatives to address HSE, such as the Action Plan for Workplace Safety and Health in Sindh, and this then is in collaboration with the ILO and Pakistan Workers Federation. There's provision for work councils in the law that are not specifically aimed at health and safety, but they could be used for health as a sort of a mechanism for social dialogue around health and safety issues. These are, according to the law, then only for companies that employ more than 50 workers. So there may be some issues there with smaller factories. Labour inspection seems to be quite poor, and inspectors are prone to corruption. Corruption is also sort of identified as quite a large problem. On the sort of environmental side, water scarcity is a critical issue in Pakistan, and water management then is a key issue to focus on. Okay, so those are sort of some of the due diligence hotspots, if you like, that we identified. What I'd like to do now is to hand over to one of our other presenters to talk a little bit about then how they've worked in addressing one or more of these particular issues. So I'd like to start off, if I can, with then Sameeh Ullah, who is the policy advisor, or a policy advisor for APTMA and SPC. So we're going to hear a bit about them, the Sustainable Production Centre. Sameeh, I'm just going to make you present so that you can share your screen. Let's have a look. Sameeh, can you hear me, Sameeh? I'm going to...
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. I'm going to make you present to Sameeh, which
means... Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thanks. Let's have a look. Okay, Sameeh, so you should now have access to the screen. Would you like to share your presentation with us, Sameeh?
Okay. Just a moment, please.
Sure.
Yeah. are you now able to see the presentation?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it, so I'm assuming others can too.
Okay, good. So, shall I start?
Yep, just start. That's great. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for just hearing me, and thank you API and the local resource network for giving us an opportunity to brief the participants on the Sustainable Production Center and our other initiatives with respect to textile industry. First, I would like to show you about the textile industry significance in terms of global ranking. So you can see that as a country we are 25th largest economy in the world and 6th largest world population, closer to about 200 million people, and we have 7th largest labor force, and in terms of textiles, we are the 4th largest cotton producer, 3rd largest textile exporters, 9th largest clothing exporters, and 3rd largest cotton consumer, 2nd largest cotton yarn exporter, 3rd largest fabric exporters, and 3rd largest towel related exports, and 2nd largest on bedwears, and 4th largest on jeans and short exports. So these are the just ranking of Pakistan and textile industry in terms of textiles. So I'm now going to move on the a brief introduction of All Pakistan Textile Mills Association. It was established in 1957. The APTMA is the premier textile industry association, which represents about 400 textile mills, and it represents the whole textile industry value chain. And the membership of APTMA is almost 100% corporate entities which are fully organized and compliant in terms of every regulations and the requirement. And APTMA has all over Pakistan offices in major cities, and the total share in exports of APTMA members is almost 50% of total textiles. So now I'm going to move on the APTMA initiative, which the APTMA has already taken or on working on it. For industry, we have established a cotton research institute, and for education and technical expertise for our work activities, we have established 2 universities. One is Textile Institute of Pakistan, which is in Karachi, and Textile University of Pakistan, based in Faisalabad. We have a series of marketing campaigns and road shows, and we have public advocacy and lobbying activity. We protect our industry on major threats, and we have advisory cells on all the issues we are facing with. And for community, APTMA has providing funding to hospitals and schools and supporting special children's education in the country. And we are APTMA is also supporting on the country on national disasters and epidemics whenever they require. And we for sustainability of textile industry, the APTMA has a series of initiatives under SPC, and also other than SPC, under SPC we have energy efficiency, promotion of renewable energy, water and chemical management, material flow management, better cotton initiatives, and implementation of the social standards. So now I'm going to move on the what is the SPC is all about. So we have a vision which has we have set for SPC that to make Pakistan textile industry a sustainable and dependable supply source through continuous improvement of social, ecological, and economic sustainability along the entire textile value chain. This is the overall our plan, and most of them we are actively doing on advisory section, on technical support level, and on capacity building. So the whole idea of SPC is to support the textile industry on advisory level and on technical level, and also to train them in to meet the future challenges as well. And in terms of because today webinar is focusing on the social and human issues, so I would like to share with you the results of one of our initiative which we have done in one of our member bill, that after implementing the social standards and other compliance related initiative within the mill, the lead time has been reduced by 43%, and the return on equity was increased by 52%. The efficiency level uh, also registered a growth about 36%. The wages of the employees and the workers went up by 65%. The production level and the production volume also rose by 76%. So in the next couple of slides, I would like to share you on the methods or the methodology that we used in achieving these numbers. So just this is an example of one case study. So just imagine the outcome of the textile industry value chain, which is the mainstay of the Pakistan economy, and which provides almost 60% in terms of export and 38% in terms of employment. So that would be a game changer if we able to broad base this activity and implement the social standards across the value chain. So you can see that why we introduce with the collaboration of this is mainly the GIZ initiative, and I would like to also make this a note that the GIZ staff or the technical persons working here in collaboration with SPC are very technically sound and providing all their best in terms of achieving those numbers. So these are the major questions that we try to address in terms of by adopting the dialogue approach, because the majority of companies have improved selected aspects of working condition by just fire safety, but not in terms of the other key areas of social or labor issues. The limited access is concerning aspects related to wages, working, time freedom, and association. Social compliance considered as additional costs since link between labor standards and productivity is not addressed. So we try to address this issue in order to make some more investments to give them a return in increase of profitability, as you have seen in the previous slide. So, sustainable improvement in social compliance can be achieved by engaging employees at all levels through dialogue structure and routine on a daily basis. So this was also an objective, and now the objective of the dialogue approach. Sorry. There was an objective to establish effective communication channels at factory level to build the trust among the management and workers, and also to evolve learning culture through coaching and mentoring for factory, middle management, and workers. Because in most of the textile industry, the gap between middle management and management workers is almost negligible. So we try to address that issue and to encourage the workers and also address their issues as well, and develop the problem solving skills of people in improve business performances. And also we the GIZ and SPC engage and motivate workers to achieve sustainable results in working conditions and productivity of that mill. So as I have shown you few numbers in terms of efficiency and productivity and the wages and so many more. But this is, you can see, this is absenteeism versus production outputs. You can see that as before the introduction of our initiative, the absenteeism was about 22%, but after a couple of months, the absenteeism has reduced almost to 4%, and then due to some seasonal effects that gone up to 12%, and then you can see the production volumes has been increased by almost 4 times, from 39 pieces, 39,000 pieces to 123,000 almost pieces. So similar in case of worker turnover, you can see that it has been reduced significantly by 23% to just only 6%. So these are also just proving numbers that there is huge potential we can achieve by introducing the best social practices. So in terms of SPC, we are facing some challenges as we have a limited capacity, and we are in terms of to broad-base these activities on social or environment related issues. So we need in-house capacity, which is the issue nowadays, and we are trying to address it by securing fundings from local and international resources as well. And also the resources constraints is also a problem. Lack of awareness, yes, because as I discussed in earlier, the management of the company or the business community thinks that by investing in social or environment related aspects, they might lose something without any profit. So we try to make this as a business case study by encouraging and make this awareness, and of course the awareness should be broadcast to all across the value chain, which is still missing. And there is also a limited institutional support, because many institutions of the government in Pakistan are not effectively working as they should be, and also we have a limited number of institutions which are working on the same line, and there are also constraints with respect to experts. We have very limited number of experts, those who are actually competent and able to show progress in terms of sustainability. And also SPC is seeking affiliation and synergies with the world-renowned such kind of initiatives and organizations. So so far we have not any affiliation or synergies with any of the leading organization in this respect, and of course the monitoring and evaluation is also the constraint. But there's no doubt we have also set on our goal by 2020 to establish SPC as independent institute to lead and steer the activities with respect to social and environment and other sustainability issues, to provide under one roof all these resources across the textile value chain. So as you can see, there's a progress. We inaugurated the SPC by BMSET. BMSET is German Ministry of Economic Cooperation on September 2015. Then we actually now are 5 staff members, and we are in collaboration with GIC country staffs and with different their projects in order to make the textile industry sustainable. And we have the plan that by December 2016 we are envisaging that the institutionalization of SPC would be there, and we can secure multiple funding opportunities as we are in negotiations with the Higher Education Commission and other agencies to, to create a pool of funds to make the SPC activities more broader. And by the start of 2018, we are planning to hire additional technical staff and increase the capacity of the SPC. And by 2020, we are have a vision to make SPC as a independent body and as an institute who provides services purely on commercial basis without any subsidies or without any piloting. So this would be the Super Expo by 2020 as we are envisaging. So this is all about SPC and its activities and APTMA. I believe that I've been able to address or to show the progress in terms of social and labor standards, as well as the major outcomes of what we have registered. But any of you have participants can ask me questions, or if you need, we can provide further details and information with the references or the reports, so you can go through and have a detailed idea of SPC and its activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sameeh. That was a very interesting presentation and some fantastic results there from the project. I'm going to open up for a couple of questions for about 5 minutes before we then move to the next presenter. So I think if now's an opportunity, if there's anybody that has any questions immediately now for Sameeh, you can feel free to do that. The way to do that is to write the question in the question box, and I'll invite sort of each individual to speak. Okay, so start off with. Let's have a look. So let's have a look. Amina, Amna Yamin, you had a question. I think maybe I'll just, if I unmute you, would you like to ask the question, Amna?
Sure. Sure, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
Yeah, I can.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. I wanted to, very interesting presentation, and I wanted to ask the methodology behind it, that how were they able to actually implement the project?
Yeah.
There wasn't,
actually,
I mean, we heard about the results, but can you explain a bit more about how it was conducted?
Yeah. Thank you. Actually,
did you go direct to factories? Did you sit with the management, involve the factory owners?
Just, yeah.
How did you go about it?
That was actually due to time constraint. I just limit my discussion and to, in order to complete my presentation. The methodology we, exercise was to create a dialogue approach in which we involved all the major, the representative of the workers. They have their, workers, some kind of groups, and we selected representative from groups of each department of the manufacturing processes, and the middle management of that respective segment of the process, and also the top management. So they come on the table, on one table, and discuss the problems of each of them, and the demands from the workers was also provided. So, and also the management concern in terms of improvement in productivity and many things like that, which are related to profitability, and the owners' contributions in terms of the profits and its cost elements. So after incorporating all the issues, workers, and we have been able to convince the top management that this is the area where you can invest and get the more returns in a very rapid time. So they can they agree upon, and that's, we have the success in our hand.
Okay, thanks, Sameeh. I'm just going to move on to another couple of other questions that we've got coming in before we move on to the next speaker. So one question that's come in from Rahini Kale at New Look is, he says, thanks for a very interesting presentation. Is there an analysis done to show what the workers think, so pre-project and post-project?
Yes, we have actually developed a video documentary on this initiative that covers those elements. If anybody is interested in that, we can share with, or you can visit spc.org.pk, and this video will be uploaded on that website after a couple of days. So you have you can look into in detail the motivation level of the workers after such an initiative, because their wage level has been increased on significantly, and they are now taking home salary, or you can say the wage is much higher than the previous one, and also the facilities provided within mills has also been increased, and their working conditions and everything has been increased, so they are quite happy, and motivational in terms of the commitment level of the worker to the factory or the mill has also been increased very much.
Excellent, thanks, great. Thanks, Sameeh, and I really look forward to watching that video in a few days' time. Yeah. So, and I'm sure everyone else will be. You'll find a massive rush to your website to watch this video.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay, one last question.
It's under progress. Yeah.
Yeah. So one last question then is from Pia. Pia, I'm going to open up the web. Okay, Pia, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning and good afternoon, and thank you very much for this fantastic, interesting presentation. It is really fantastic what you've achieved, and I'm very, very interested in looking further into this. We are right now approaching a similar project in Bangladesh, and we are actually trying there to merge productivity and social issues. But one of my concerns is that working hard on productivity improvements in order to get the buy-in from the management, we are very insecure. Will we at the same time maybe be putting even more pressure on the workers? So I'm very interested in how can you actually at the same time improve social conditions and worker conditions, and at the same time raise productivity without that hampering again the social issues, the workers' conditions.
Yes, I guess what you are talking is almost the best example in our case, because we have achieved the both in terms of social compliance as well as the productivity levels. So if you are really interested in that activity, I can request the GIZ to send you a report of those pilot mills, and you can look into detail of those initiatives and also the improvement in terms of social compliance as well as the productivity levels, because the productivity is directly related to the social and workers' conditions. So as far as the workers' commitment and the worker conditions or the worker rights, or you can say the ethics are involved, you address those issues in a very bold way, and you implement all the social and labor standards in your factory. There's no doubt, and there's no the other way that your productivity will not increase. So as I have already shown to you in our presentation, that the productivity level has also been increased with significant numbers. So I think this is the best way to sell nowadays, because most of the business community is very interested in what the outcome of any activity or intervention in his factory or processes. So once we have such kind of case studies in our hand, and we have some business case studies, so we can easily encourage them and convince them to please put your investment in this way also, because by this you can achieve multiple outcome in terms of productivity and profitability, and also the overall improvement of the factory.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I would be very interested in having that report. Thank you so much.
I think there are. Yeah, I think there are quite a few people who are interested in that report. Maybe you could send the report to me afterwards. Would that be possible? And I can distribute it to everybody.
That is the property of that factory and GIZ, so I can request them.
Okay.
And I can share with you. You can email as you have, but for the participants, I would like to also announce that you can, anybody who is interested in collaboration with SPC or to need further information can write me directly on sameeh007@gmail.com.
Perfect. That's great. Thanks, Sameeh. I'll send out your email address afterwards to everybody. Okay, I'm going to have to. Well, not going to have to, but I would like to stop there and to invite the next speaker, Mohammed Imran from CSRCP to present to us some of the services that they use around enhanced due diligence. So thank you very much, Sameeh, for a fantastic presentation. And I'm now going to change the presenter to Mohammed. Let's have a look. And that's me back again. Okay. Bear with me. And now I'm going to change the presenter to, let's have a look, Mohammed. Where are we? Okay, Mohammed, can you hear me? Mohammed, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. We can hear you too. That's great. Okay. I'm assuming everybody can see your screen. I can see your screen. So that's great. Would you like then to start, Mohammed?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'm expressing my thanks to the LRN network for expressing our sustainability advisory services and the enhanced due diligence approach which we use for different clients to basically judge their sustainability journey with LRN members. Before starting, let's have a look at what we'll be going to discuss through this presentation. I will be starting through the CSRCP, what are our service offerings, how we offer different services to different clients, what are our feature engagements with different clients, and then we will be discussing one or two engagements, especially in textile sector, where we have applied this sustainability-related interventions or sustainability-related consultancy to different clients. Then the new concept, as per our understanding, there is enhanced due diligence concept to replace the traditional due diligence concept to mitigate the risks in the supply chain and to enable the supply chain partners to come up with some broad-based sustainability strategies that doesn't only reduce the impacts or reduce the risks, but also increase the revenue perspective for the companies. And then what we can offer to the other members that are residing in different countries or that are working in Pakistan or companies in Pakistan. So let's starting with the CSRCP. We are basically a consultancy firm that is engaged in integrated reporting, advisory for integrated reports to different corporate sector companies as well as in the supply chain elements based on the IARC framework. And we also advise our clients on the integration of the sustainability targets in the day-to-day operations to measure their impacts, then to report their impacts and become accountable on those impacts. Apart from integrated reporting, we also provide the sustainability reporting services to our different clients that covers stakeholder engagement with the key stakeholder groups for the identification of the material impacts that the organization has, ranging from the social perspective, that the human rights, labor side aspects, and you can see the environmental aspects, and society-related interventions. Then we also offer services to our different clients for sustainability report preparation, that engaging them with the teams, for identification, and then going through the process of preparation of a report that serves as a summarized document for the company as well as for its supplier network or the customer networks, where they can get information on the different company interventions in all different fields, ranging from social, subcategorizing from the labor perspective, human rights perspective, then the product responsibility perspective, environmental perspective, and economic perspective. Then we also provide assurance that is based on ISO 3000 based assurance, that is a standard on the auditing for non-financial related information. Then accountability a 1000 based assurance as well. And then management system assurance, that is something new that we are offering to our Pakistan based and as well as globally based companies, that the management system assurance, that whether the management systems are in place that basically cover these different elements of the social interventions, of the labor rights, of human rights, of non-discrimination, of child labor, or either getting only certification in different departments and working in silos. Then we also offer capacity building. That is one of our core area where we build the capacity of different organizations on the sustainability reporting areas, sustainability reporting guidelines, that how to prepare a report based on the guidelines and standards, and then some tailored sustainability related training as well to the organizations to basically make familiar them with the concept of reporting, with the concept of connecting the departments in one element. So there is a management strategy at a place that can work on the improvement side for the later improvements. I will also provide research on some CSR related topics, that what are the CSR practices in Pakistan at the moment, where these practices are going to emerge in the near future, or how companies in Pakistan are reporting on the CSR practices, or whether there are CSR strategies available in the companies, or they are just working with different departments having certifications and they are satisfied that they have got all certifications, but those certifications are lying with different departments and no management or board level strategies available to tackle these issues. Then we are basically GRI Goals community member as well from Pakistan. Then we are GRI certified training partner to offer the certified trainings on sustainability reporting in Pakistan, and we are also GRI official data partner to gather the information, to gather the reports issued by the companies in Pakistan, and then disseminate this information to the global network of GRI. Some of our featured engagements, we have been working with different sectors ranging from the chemical sector, then the automotive sector, textile sector, the services sector, and the refinery level as well. We have worked, I will be discussing about the Danish Fashion Institute project in coming slides, where we have worked with the Danish Fashion Institute for identification of sustainable supplies from Pakistan. And Sadakat Limited, that is, we have been working with them for preparation of their sustainability reports, enabling them to basically embed the sustainability into their core areas. They have got all certifications with the fair trade, better cotton, then ranging from IS 14,000, environmental, but they were lacking on the perspective of the reporting perspective, that how to engage those all certifications, those all departments at a company level, to come up with a company level strategy to handle the issues of the environmental perspective and social perspective. So we have been working with this Sadakat for basically connecting those departments for them, and then coming at the management level to come up with a strategy. Then we have been working with the 4G fertilizer for the last 6 years for preparation of their sustainability reporting and integrated reporting. And we also provide the due diligence perspective, or the, you can say, external assurance perspective for Atlas Honda for their sustainability reports. And then we have worked with local resource network as well for reviewing the Pakistan country briefing that issued by the LRN to its different members in different constituencies. Now I'm going to discuss the enhanced due diligence concept, which we think that it's a necessity to replace the traditional due diligence concept currently prevailing, and to overcome the issues that are resulting from this traditional due diligence concepts, and basically coming up the shortfalls and bringing improvements for the suppliers as well as for the companies. What is the existing due diligence model? Currently, as for due diligence is concerned from textile sector, from any other sector, that is basically focused on investigation of sector-specific certifications in environmental, product, and social compliance that were certified for the, just take the example of cotton, there's the Better Cotton Initiative, then fair trade, then fair wages, and then environmental perspective that they have ISO 14,000 and so on, or product-related compliances. The main focus in that due diligence is just for the certification that ranging on different areas. There's the environmental, product, and social compliance. There are some dilemmas that are basically covering arising from that traditional due diligence. That is, departments work in silos. What we have experience with working with different companies that have been working in the field for around 30 or 40 years back, but their departments work in silos. They just know that this is our departmental objective to get certified for this certificate or get renewal of that certificate on year-on-year basis. And only object for that department is to get certification. That doesn't have a linkage between the other departments for promoting, you can say, better change, or promoting a change in the management systems or change in the overall organization level. That is missing. And then no strategic level integration. When departments are working in different areas, no management approach, no management strategy at board level or at the top management level. So strategic level integration is missing there, and that's basically creating problems for the organizations to move forward on the sustainability path, as well as for the international customers to getting data for inclusion in their reports. Before moving further, I would like to stress here a little bit that as far as EU directive on the non-financial reporting is concerned, that is basically making an effect on the 6,000 companies in Europe. They are going to report on the human rights and related interventions of these companies, and they have to report on their supply chain partners as well, because now the reporting perspective has been changed from the company level to the impact level, that where actually impact lies. And as far as is concerned, impact reporting in Pakistan or in any other supply chain countries, impact reporting is missing at the moment. And that is a big dilemma, that no information is available for the customers in Denmark, in UK, or in Norway, that when they are going to have impact-based reporting, so they can't get the information to include that information in their overall reporting perspective. But we propose basically enhanced due diligence. Enhanced due diligence covers investigation of sector-specific certification. That again, environmental certification, product-based certification, and social compliance. Apart from that, we see it as verification of existence of management systems. Whether management systems are in place in support of these certifications, whether management is taking these initiatives or these key areas or material areas seriously, whether there is a management approach, that's how they are going to manage this key area. And then existence of grievances mechanism. But we have evidence working with the different clients that this grievances mechanism is missing. If it is available, it is not functional. If there is a grievances mechanism, the functionality is missing. So this existence of grievances mechanism to check the seriousness of the management and application of the management system, whether those management systems are appropriately handling the grievances occurring within the system, and existing of reporting practices. Until unless the companies are not reporting, they will not be able to move forward on the path of sustainability or to share the data with the broader systems. And what we see the benefits are integration of material issues at strategic level. When you will engage with different departments, you will engage with the management systems, implementation of the management system and grievances mechanisms. You will be integrating those material issues at a strategic level, at a policy level, and you will come up with policy that you can handle those on the time scale of from 3 to 5 years, depending upon the priority areas. Then better management of impacts, that if you're measuring something and you can measure and you can basically manage that impact, you can reduce the negative impact and you can make a positive contribution if you're making a positive perspective on some impacts. And then data availability on material impacts to basically disseminate that information to the global supply chain partners, to the global customers when they are asking information for the impacts that are occurring within the systems. But we have, how we have applied that enhanced due diligence that we have applied in Danish Fashion Institute project that we have worked last year. The project was basically about identification of sustainable clothing manufacturers ranging from textile, leather and ready-made garments. We have applied the enhanced due diligence. We have contacted with the different Pakistani textile sector companies, with the leather manufacturing companies, with ready-made garments from Pakistan Hosiery Manufacturing Association, and unfortunately the only information was available of the certification side, if information was available. And the other are three elements: existing of management system, existence of grievances mechanism, existing of reporting practices. All these three elements of that enhanced due diligence was missing, and no company was reporting on that. Just they have a certificate that there's a fair trade certificate is there, or Better Cotton Initiative, they're certified for that, and no other initiative was available. And that was a dilemma, and we have been working with different organizations. Currently we are working with GIZ to come up with some supply chain initiative for these supply chain partners to basically educate them to build this capacity that they should come up with some management system or measurement of these impacts, or create integration of these elements into their system, into their business objectives, so they can come up with some improvement. And now, what about services we can offer to the LRN members that we see as enhanced due diligence element, that we can work with the different LRN members, that sourcing companies or the customers in Denmark or Norway, that we can work for them as an enhanced due diligence with checking the existence of management system apart from the certification element, grievances mechanism placement to cover up, to reduce the risk of basically, to mitigate the risk of non-compliances and violations, and reporting practices within the supply chain. We can also work with the Pakistani companies as well, just like Mr. Sameeh Ullah was discussing about the SPC Center, the training on CSR for the CSR basics and reporting perspective for the textile sector companies, the textile sector corporate companies. As I have seen that the most of the companies and the APTMA SPC Center, the corporations, not the individual level. So these corporations can work on these elements. We can work with them for building their capacity to report on these critical elements. And then reporting, that working with the LRN members to build capacity building and establishing reporting pattern among supply chain for risk mitigation. This is again a new concept that's already applied in Turkey, in India, and in different areas. Recently in Turkey, the GRI in collaboration with DIG and some other partners, they have basically applied the sustainability reporting perspective for the companies on the foundry sector as well as in different areas. In India, they work with the foundry sector, and in Turkey, they work in different sectors. For the cluster of 12 or 15 companies, they have worked with those companies for the whole year to basically build their capacity to understand these important issues and then measure and report on these issues. And as an entity in Pakistan, the Corporate Social Responsibility Center aims to help businesses to identify, measure, manage, and communicate their performance on social and environmental issues. That will not only help the business internally by reducing the cost effectiveness, but will also result in reducing the environmental impacts by basically bringing improvement in social perspective, as well as reducing the risk and mitigating the risk in supply chains. I guess, Marcus, I have covered my time.
That's that's great. Thanks. That's really interesting, and it's great to see this this idea of enhanced due diligence, so moving away from a traditional focus to as you said, a more enhanced approach where management systems and particularly things like grievance mechanisms and then the reporting, sort of what comes out of the end and how do you use that data effectively to feed back into your management systems as a sort of a cycle of continuous improvement. So thank you. I'd like to just open up for a couple of questions before we finish. I'm aware that we're sort of already 3 minutes over time, so I apologise on my part really for poor time management in that respect. But if anyone would like to ask a couple of questions, then I'd like to give you the opportunity to do that, and also then Mohammed the opportunity to answer any questions. So. Samad, I think I'm going to open up to you. You've got a couple of questions coming in here, so I imagine that maybe one of them perhaps has been answered already. So I'm just going to open up to you, and you can ask a question yourself. Samad, can you hear me? Is that okay? Have you got a microphone, Samad?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Samad. We can hear you fine.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Imran, for this wonderful presentation about CSRCP. I'm really impressed by the unique working by your organization, which is not being done by any other organization in Pakistan. My question, actually, I myself I'm a local resource network member, and I just wanted to ask about what offers would you like to give to LRN members regarding your upcoming training, just like GRI, which are very rare in Pakistan, how we can get benefits from these training sessions by your organization in terms of discounts, in terms of customization, all these areas.
Thank you so much for your question. Regarding the discounts, we are only offering at the moment discount to just GRI Gold community members in Pakistan, and unfortunately there is only one apart from us. There are two organizations in Pakistan that are just Gold community partners. What we are offering to existing clients, as far as a discount to LRN members is concerned, let me discuss internally that how we can come up with the discount for the LRN members on our upcoming training in December. And how we can come up with the customized training for LRN members as well as customized trainings are concerned. We offer customized trainings to different organizations depending upon their requirements, depending upon their sector-specific issues. And as far as LRN is concerned, I guess we have to work on that how we can offer customized training, because there is a diversified members of the LRN ranging from the labor perspective, ranging from the mediating institution, just like consulting entities, just like you and other consultants, and there are some members from the industry perspective. So I guess we have to work on that, and we have to have a discussion with the Marcus on that as well, that how we can come up with some training that can be helpful to a large number of LRN members in Pakistan.
That would be perfect. I'll be looking forward after your internal decision through Marcus of what's the new news for us in that. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thanks. Okay, good. Any other questions before we round up? Okay. Then I think I'm going to say thank you very much for everybody for attending, and a special thanks to Sameeh Ullah and to Mohammed Imran for your excellent presentations. Thank you very much for taking the time to prepare and to deliver these presentations today. It's been a great contribution to the network. The recording, recording this webinar will be made available for members only, so you'll be able to watch that on our on the members website. I think I'm right in saying that the presentations will be made available also, so you can make that available to you after webinar today, again via the Local Resources Network members area of the website. So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to working more with you in the future. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.